Today I'm sitting down with retired Navy Commander Dr. Mark Russell, Navy psychologist. So Mark, I know, I'm going to be speaking with leadership at the San Diego Veterans Coalition. They're going to do a podcast moment with me as well. They've really got a working model for a regional behavioral health core going. And I think with some wisdom and guidance from you, which I believe, there's conversations going on, they can really, extrapolate that and then begin to build a presentation for a larger national model. What's your thought on how they're doing and where that might be going? Is that encouraging to be speaking with them?
Oh yeah, it's highly encouraging. It has always been my belief that the behavioral health core needs to originate out of the military, and so that the military provides that working model. But that hasn't happened over the last almost 20 years now. The fact that the Victor and his group there, they've already collaborated with over 100 different organizations and in this kind of cross communication and effort to kind of have a cohesive organization and a kind of a frame and how we work together across these different organizations. I think it absolutely can serve as a working model, and maybe that's how it needs to go. Right. Maybe the military needs to be again pushed a little bit, or maybe a lot, and by having a working model that's near such a large military population as San Diego, maybe that is exactly what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, to kind of, it's sort of the other side of your thinking of like, let it come from the DOD as opposed to, here it is. These are veterans like yourself on the ground, doing the work, being in leadership, seeing what's really needed and taking action. So maybe it is, it's groundswell. You use the word groundswell a lot, and it is that sort of groundswell model that could really take place and then branch out. It is veteran driven. So there's the military, mindset there, but these are civilians today, so.
I agree. I think it's a great opportunity to, kind of, again, provide some framework that could be used not only at San Diego, but other states, other regions. And then who knows, maybe the military then will then say, okay, well, if they're doing it here and there, maybe we ought to be doing something, get our act together and put mental health as a priority.
We don't want to be bested. Let's get on board. Let's go. Why not? Why not? Are you serving as an advisor?
Yeah, I've been in communication with Victor in particular, and he sent me some materials, and I think it's a beginning of a very exciting possibility of collaborating and trying to put something together that will help tie a lot of varied organizations that all have the right mindset of trying to again elevate mental health as a priority in our lives and to put action to words.
Yeah, I at the personal level, there was such a cry out with the recent removal of troops, the final removal of troops from Afghanistan, that just the repercussions with their collective of veterans and families in the San Diego area was pretty severe. The anguish and the the falling apart, mental health falling apart, that they were just on task, the whole coalition, to really, be out there for their people. And that's when Victor reached out and said, how do I meet Mark Russell? How do I connect with him to learn more? Because this is just, the need is so great, and we all need help to do this.
So, yeah, the ripple effect is measured in decades when you go to a major war like this. So like what we've been through is kind of the tip of the iceberg. Right. And now all the other secondary effects, both from the service members, their spouses, their children, other people who are affected. Um, so yeah, but one of the greatest tragedies that we uncovered in our book, Charles Figley and mine, was that when wars end, we go back to a period of neglect and what we call the national reset, like hitting a reset button. And so after 20 years of war, and there's been a lot of money thrown at the mental health problem within the military and outside the military, but a lot of new programs, as I mentioned, there's been 214 different investigations, scores of different projects and things that have been developed. And I would say, just as in every major war, there is a growing awakening in the military itself of the importance of mental health and why we need to destigmatize mental health and elevate it into a higher level of priority. However, when wars end, the history is very clear. We go very quickly back to a period of neglect where those programs start to evaporate, funding starts to go away, and then everyone develops kind of an amnesia about what we just went through, and mental health goes back to the bottom of the heap. And we've already seen signs of that already been happening now for maybe the past 10 years, but there's an erosion that's going to be sped up about mental health. So having a program like what they're trying to do in San Diego would help keep that flame afire and provide a light to the issue, even though the instincts of the military is to forget it.
A pandemic has really brought it all to a level playing ground for one and all the subjects: trauma, grief, PTSD. People understand these topics now, and there's a listening. And I think a group like San Diego Veterans Coalition, because of listening to you, won't let it go to sleep.
And I think we're in a really good place to really start transforming how mental health is viewed in the broader society.
We'll see you on the next moment.